Hey everybody, Nick Tate here, Senior Editorial Manager with Banyan Hill's Bold Profits team, wishing you a happy Halloween.
Get away from her, you...
That, of course, is Sigourney Weaver in the classic 1986 sci-fi thriller Aliens. And I wanted to open this week's video with that scene, not just because it's October 31st, of course, but also because that robotic exoskeleton Weaver's wearing like a suit of armor is actually getting a real-world upgrade. In a remarkable biotechnological advance that seems to have torn a page from the script of James Cameron's film, French engineers at the University of Grenoble have just announced that they have created a real-life robotic exoskeleton for people who have lost the use of their arms and legs as a result of either an injury, spinal cord injury, or an illness. And get this, it not only allows people to regain the use of their arms and legs, but this ingenious device can be controlled by a user's thoughts. It kind of gives a whole new meaning to the term mind control. And it really is just incredible what they've been able to do with this. Now, the way that it works is it uses 2 brain implants and a coding technology that makes all of it possible. It's incredible. Now, researchers have only really just begun testing this new device. It's really still in the lab, and you can see it here in these photos that are taken from the University of Grenoble laboratory. But it's already been used to help a 28-year-old man regain the use of his arms and legs 2 years after a spinal cord injury left him paralyzed from the neck down after he fell from a balcony. Now, with the help of this new robotic exoskeleton, he was able to get back up on his feet and walk and use his arms again, an experience that he said was a bit like being the first man to walk on the moon. Now, as remarkable as that innovation is, it's really just one of the many stunning achievements that we're seeing in the world of robotics and artificial intelligence. And the reality is that the new robotic revolution that we're seeing in biotechnology and other industries is really just beginning. Of course, it all adds up to a blazing investment opportunity to those investors who get in early, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how you can do that a little later today. But before I do that, I want to explain what's behind the growing market for robotics and artificial intelligence and tell you about the many ways that robots are becoming a central part of our everyday lives. If you look at the numbers in the markets, like I do, you'll see that robots are already very, very popular with businesses and consumers alike. Last year, for instance, North American companies ordered a record number of robots for a variety of industries, nearly 36,000 of them, in fact, and that's a 7% increase over 2017, according to the Robotics Industries Association. And those figures are projected to skyrocket over the next 3 to 5 years. In fact, the latest market research shows that the AI robotics market will soar to become about a $12.4 billion industry by 2023. That's up from just $2.8 billion in 2017, so the market is growing annually by about 29%, which is huge. Robots and robotics are not just making inroads in industrial settings and manufacturing settings. Chances are that you're seeing robots and robotic devices pop up in your everyday life as well. Think about something like Amazon's Alexa and the popularity of Apple's Siri. Those are really just 2 examples of how artificially intelligent robotic assistants are becoming household family members across the country. We're also seeing new robot sales associates show up in Lowe's and Walmart, and robotic technologies are making self-driving cars a reality for Tesla, Toyota, and other manufacturers. Doctors are using robotic techniques to improve their operations procedures for cancer, heart disease, brain surgery, and we're even seeing a new breed of humanoid robots that are showing up in banks, shopping malls, and hospitals. Robots like SoftBank's Pepper, seen here in a photo with me during a recent interview that I did with her. Now, one reason I think that robots are becoming so popular is because they're starting to really bridge the gap between the digital world and the physical world in ways that we really could not have even imagined in the 1980s when James Cameron was filming Aliens. But there's another reason behind the rise of robots, and that is that there's a huge bottom line benefit to the companies that embrace automation and are embracing robotics. In some cases, having a robot meet and greet and interact with customers and staff is really good for a company's business. For instance, Jeremy Balkin, who's the head of innovation at HSBC Bank, told me that they have seen a huge increase in business at the 4 banks where Pepper was brought in to interact with customers and with staff. The results, he told me, have been stunning. Since we first launched Pepper at our New York City flagship branch, we've seen a 60% increase of new business. Now, what this tells me, of course, is that there is a great investment opportunity in the megatech and biotech trends that we're seeing in robotics and artificial intelligence. Now, as you probably know, these megatrends are at the very heart of our bold profits investment strategies. For instance, Paul Mampilly's Profits Unlimited service includes an AI robotic company whose stock has risen more than 33% since he added it to the model portfolio last year. So one obvious way to take advantage of these advances is, of course, to subscribe to one of Paul's 7 investment services, like Profits Unlimited. But here's another way to leverage this rise of robots. You can invest in an exchange-traded fund, or ETF. The one that I recommend is the Global X Robotics and Artificial Intelligence ETF. The ticker symbol is BOTZ. This fund holds a portfolio of about 30 companies at the very forefront of robotics and AI, and it's doing pretty well. Since January, the ETF is up about 20%, beating the S&P 500 index. Now, all of this tells me that investors who see the potential and the profit potential of robotics and act on it now stand to make a bundle of money. So why shouldn't you be one of them? Well, that's going to do it for me today. Until next week, I'm Nick Tate, Senior Editorial Manager for Banyan Hill's Bold Profits team, wishing you a happy Halloween. Thanks for joining me today.